We just doing stuff. We're live and we're live early. I'm getting some construction, so we better get it while the getting is good before this man starts tearing doors down. But I was finding myself, Terry, that I was trying to do a lot, and I was like, wait a minute. I was building up some extra stuff to do for myself that I really just didn't have to do. And I just changed the whole script. So we just went live. I'm not doing any of the stuff I thought I was going to do. But we were just having this conversation about judgment. So we said, heck, why not? Let's just go live. Let's do that. Let's talk about judgment. And then we'll get around to talking about the equinox. And I think it probably has a lot to do with that too. I think it relates. But you were
I
saying,
think, you know, um, the thing about judgment is very personal and is based on our belief systems. And so what we believe, we now project it onto other people and we judge them because they don't believe the way we do. They don't act the way that we do. They don't have the same view as we do. So it's easy for us to just judge them and come to conclusions based on our life experiences. But we don't know what somebody else has experienced or how they've experienced it, especially emotionally. And so, from that standpoint, our emotions is what sort of gives us um, that bias on how we look
mm,
at the world. And so we judge things based on how we feel, not on everything, but it's how we feel, what our belief systems are. And I think part of the thing about spring, I'm going to bring it back, spring and the equinox, we're opening into Aries, which is the beginning of the astrological chart, but it's all about spring. And maybe it's time that we do some spring cleaning, but maybe it's not not only spring cleaning of our cupboards and our closets, but maybe it's some spring cleaning in our thought processes and our beliefs. And how do we look at people and how do we judge people? Is like, yeah, I don't think that picture of that the lady posted the other day of her self-image, it doesn't necessarily look like my self-image, but I don't have the right to run her down and say, why have you got these tattoos here, or doing this or whatever. It's not, that's based on my personal opinion, but I don't have the right to judge what somebody else feels and thinks about. And so I think we need to sort of step back and look at um, you know our attitudes towards things, and what is it that we believe, and what do we know? Do we believe things based on uh, on our knowing, or because that's what we've been taught, you know? So
I think that goes right up to, well, they have this meme about aliens, right? And it says, for you to say that there's no life out there, no other life out there, would be like to take a spoon of water out of the ocean and be like, like there's no fish in here. Like
what are you
based
talking
on
about, sharks?
what are you
Yeah.
yeah, just based on that limited perspective, limited point of view. And that's how I ended up doing these lives in the first place. Is this woman, she said, why do we even have Father's Day? And I thought to myself, like, wow, because you might have a bad experience with a man in your life. Like, you just decided that no man on the planet is worthy, no man on the planet is any good. And I mean, I've heard these kinds of statements and stuff like that where I've seen where there's some women that they maybe don't have one good thing to say about any man on this planet. And I'm like, holy cow. If it could be your demographic, it could be like your community, your church, your neighborhood, maybe, like, but that doesn't summarize all of being, or because you had that one bad relationship or maybe three. Does that mean that forever you'll be doomed, or that forever that no one else exists, in that plane that can be a positive role model. And I will say this, Terry, like I remember, and this is going to be like a little memory lane, but I remember hanging out with Jermaine and Dab, and I'm telling you, I would go around picking up peacock feathers, and they would be like, let me see, turn on the camera." And we were like children. Like I was like, wow, it's like I have two brothers, and they would watch me play with peacocks and pick up feathers and cats. And then I had like this one little bush that likes to move like this, which I gotta go get it. But and they would be like just like fascinated. And I was like, I felt like the creator was giving me this opportunity to have these brotherly like relationships that are positive, that were there to help me in the future, maybe to expand my mind on how I feel about brothers. Maybe because I mean I love my brothers, but we didn't have that as much, like that playtime, especially with them being older. Usually when I play with my brothers, somebody gets hurt. They're like, let's play circus, and somebody gets hurt. Somebody's face ends up against a wall or falling out of a tree or something. It's like, but then they were like much older, crazy, and experimental. But but the limited view, limited perspective, or based on our pain and our inability to get past that pain, and so we make this blanket judgment that says safety. Or like you say, when I do see people wearing stuff that I wouldn't wear, especially at Universal Studios, I don't want to sit on your juices. So I'm just like, what? Like, you see, like sometimes it's just, sometimes it's a struggle because I know it's Florida, I know it's hot, but God, dog, coochie cutters. Your mom's got a midriff and coochie cutters, and then I have to like back up and be like, why are you thinking this way? Or sometimes even I'm just gonna go ahead and tell one of my struggles is sometimes when I see people and they seem too weak sometimes. And a lot of times we think, oh, if that person is too gentle or too soft or too emotional, like we tend to judge them and reject them. And honestly, I think it stirs up something inside people that makes them actually want to bully those type of people. We don't respect it. But what I've come to truly understand over time is sometimes the quiet person and the patient person is actually the stronger person, the actual more resilient person, because they have control over their emotions and their feelings and how they express it. And they tend to be um like what they would have said in the Bible is long suffering. They are in for things for the long haul. And so I can respect myself for being like a quick decision maker sometimes, and somebody to maybe speak quickly, but sometimes the strength is in being the exact opposite of what you think is strong. And you gain a different perspective on what you feel strength is. Now, it's so funny too, because that's one of my struggles too, is people say, you're so strong. And I'm like, stop saying I'm strong. Because I want people to understand, like being strong, it doesn't mean, I think sometimes they make that sound like you don't have feelings and you don't get hurt and you don't cry. And because I'm a little bit tougher or outspoken, that's what it is really like I might be more outspoken and I might not be as reserved. And that is interpreted as strong when it's like, no, actually, I cry a lot. I cry deep. I cry hard. And I am very sensitive. And because I'm sensitive, I'm usually more sensitive to other people's feelings than they are with my own. Because people don't really realize it. One thing about me is by the time I say something really off colored to you, I've thought about it for a long time. And then I say what I really think. And I think
Sometimes, but
before I speak.
sometimes the mouth is in gear before the brain cuts in.
Right. But for me, I'm always thinking like, well, if I say this, is this too mean? Is this too? And so it'll look as if I'm extremely reactive, but I'm expressive with my friends. But I think I hold a lot back when it comes to when people step on my own toes. Those things I hold back.
Well, and I just want to go back to the whole thing with judgment, and how it's based on people's own personal experience. But I always cringe when I hear this. Do you know what's wrong with you? You know, like how many times do you hear that? Do you know what's wrong with you? And it's like based on whose opinion? Your opinion, your experience, your judgment. But maybe it's not being wrong. Maybe I'm not wrong. I think Creator made each one of us an individual to experience life in different ways, and so I think we have forces that are trying to control us and herd us into the same kind of a box, and so that we all have these same beliefs and judgments and everything. But I think the majesty of it all is that we can each have our own experience and experience things to bring back to the Creator, in a different way, in a different perspective. So I think we have and going back to the whole fact that it is springtime, this is giving us an opportunity to start over because it is spring, do some house cleaning with our belief systems, and look at like maybe what is it, the things that, how do you judge things, and what are your judgments based on? When you have an opinion on something, how is that based? It's not that it's bad or good, but we base things on our experience, and so because you saw it on the television, now it's part of your belief system. Does it make it true? We have to question how we come to conclusions of things. That's my opinion. That's
Absolutely.
my opinion. So don't judge me on it.
Absolutely. And it was amazing this weekend. I was working with Magical Michelle. Actually, we have an interview later today, and we did this class called The Game of Life. And a big part of what we work on, that's when I say my teacher, Magical Michelle. Well, most of what we work on is self-limiting beliefs. Why do you believe that? Is it something someone told you? Is it because you got hurt? Is it because it was something you were taught by your parents or your family? Is it something from your community, from this generation? Is it passed down through lifetimes? Is it like a part of the system that's been taught to you? Um, what is it that is you? You know how they say me, not me. What is it that is true? What is real? What is limiting you? What is holding you back? What is not allowing you to express new thoughts and ideas and move forward? And I just have chills because over the weekend there were some challenges, and I made new hurdles, went across new hurdles, and being able to say things that are difficult because, like I said, I may seem reactive and strong and whatnot, but I hold a lot in, and I do a lot of things out of pure guilt, or I give away my time and energy and certain things, and I don't set certain kinds of boundaries for myself, and definitely emotionally I don't feel like I always ask for what I need. So this is just a time, especially now, because what's going on with the equinoxes, there's several types of retrogrades that we're going through. Did you know that we were in a retrograde and we just went over like a Mercury retrograde?
Mm.
It was
Yeah,
like
figures.
February through March. There was some dates. You I had them written down, but anyway, and it was interesting because I went on a trip with a friend of mine, and our biggest topic was communication, and it was like so much communication. But it was during a retrograde, not a Mercury retrograde, and I was like, wow, we made it through a whole Mercury retrograde without one misunderstanding or miscommunication. And I was like, whoo, that's awesome. So, but there's just energy for change, and between the two equinoxes, the spring and fall, it's the most productive time of the year. And so us being these quantum awesome beings that we are, this is going to be an extremely productive time for us, but we can set our minds to it. But then to actually increase your productivity, how will you work on some of your self-limiting beliefs? These beliefs that say, oh, I'm lucky if I can do that. No, you're actually entitled to do that. It's actually your birthright to have what you want. It's actually your birthright to be abundant, to um, to be able to take energy from source and change the world and create positive situations in your life and turn things around. Anything that is causing you to suffer, things that are lingering, these little negative voices lingering, it's time to put a pin in them, nail them down, figure out where they come from, and work on that. And that's something I hope people do, and I really enjoy helping people do. And I'm ready to stop procrastinating on people doing it. Um, and help myself as well, because as we help others, right, we end up helping ourselves. And that was one amazing thing about the class is each one of us that we were all hitting these topics, and it was like, oh, if it was one side of love, like we had what each other needed to help the other person, like we've either faced it or we're going through it. So it was like we went through the class and we were doing it together. And sometimes we have to borrow that energy, but making sure that we do that with people we trust, love, and that will not give us, you know, negative feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they'll give you non-supportive feedback, non-supportive. Um, a lot of people don't understand negative and positive feedback, but I'll actually be launching my website next week, Terri, with Amber,
Ooh.
and we're I just realized so much work that was done inside my class this weekend that it's like, why aren't you doing this with people? Why aren't you sharing this with people? Because I do have what it takes. I have what it takes to help others, and I need to go ahead and start sharing that with people and not putting it
Yes.
under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. No, I was kidding. I'm excited too, Jax, and super hyped that I know we started early, but I can't stop Terri, y'all. She just does stuff. She can't have a shallow "How you doing, girl?" Conversations. So I had to get things rolling. So Terri, did you have anything else you wanted to say about the equinox or
Well,
anything?
it's interesting. I pulled some cards as we were talking from the Priestess of Light deck, and it always amazes me that that the cards, based on our talk, they have wisdom that comes out. So the first card that I pulled was go with the flow, letting go, cleansing, and receiving.
Oh, I just put you up there. Let me put you up there. Let's go.
Okay.
You
So,
cleansing and
so
receiving. Oh
yeah.
wow.
So I'm just going to read from the book about part of it because it just says when this card appears, It announces a time of quiet energy, encouraging you to release resistance and go with the flow. True release requires a conscious intention to let go of control and embrace the cleansing energies of non-attachment. It's time to step back and reevaluate things. Take a break from trying to force your will and open your heart to the guidance of the spirit flowing within and around you. This doesn't mean you should take no action. It means your action should flow with your intuition. So that um, and she's standing by a waterfall and says, water is an important element in your life experience. It brings clarity and understanding and represents the presence of spirit. You are a body of water, as is this blue planet of ours. On that level, you resonate with Earth and every entity on it. So charge the water you drink with love and affirm Spirit's presence in the rain, in the shower, and in all the water around you. This cleansing intention purifies your energy and releases limitation and negativity. Such a clear and vibrant resonance then opens your life to the unlimited flow of abundance available to you. Let go and receive, for the river of endless opportunity is coming your way. So, from our conversation that we're talking about, it is time to let go, do some cleansing of your physical body. Maybe it's time to do a detox, but also, clean your closets out or your drawers, but also clean out your thought processes and your beliefs. And if there are belief systems that are based on old models, we have the opportunity during this springtime to move forward and just let go and just allow that flow, that natural flow of the time of the year to help us to release things that are no longer relevant for the time that we're moving through. What you believed 5 years ago or what happened to you 10 years ago or 15, 20 years ago, you don't need to hold on to that anymore. It's time to just release it and just take the lesson, learn from it, and don't keep going back and anchoring into that energy, because that's preventing you from flowing into your new opportunities that are around the corner. And the next card is light, wings of light. And that one is about becoming something new. So, when we're being held back by old beliefs, things that happened in the past, we're anchoring to that, and we're not allowing something new to come our way, because you're holding a course based on what happened in the past. If we can release that, then your opportunities will come from directions that you hadn't expected. So a powerful time of personal transition, perhaps even total transfiguration upon you. Your spirit is working from within to bring radical shifts in your attitude and energy. Old feelings of being stuck will drop away with every step forward you take. This shift can be so significant, and it could redefine you and reveal the essential nature of your soul. Even your appearance may change. On a practical level, something you're working on might be just about to take off, Miss Erica. Or this may mark an accelerated external move, a sudden change of personal residence, or even an unexpected work relocation. When this card appears in your spread, make sure you take note of which others are laid out on each side. These cards could indicate some specific details about the types of changes on the horizon. Be open to these and other new adventures. Okay, so as soon as you start letting go and cleansing, then you'll be able to receive something new into your life. And the last card that I selected was Sacred Action and Decisive Focus. And this one is telling us that this card is telling you to let go of the hesitation. Your soul longs for you to move forward on your path. Whether your goal is personal, professional, or spiritual, you have the power to manifest whatever you desire. Now is the time to resolve to pick a direction that calls to your heart and act. Let go of your self doubt and fear of making the wrong decision. The strength of your spirit will guide you every step of the way. Your spirit may also take you in a more global direction of sacred activism. The light of sacred consciousness between animal and human can help you take decisive action to make the earth and all her life forms a top priority. As your loving intention expands to encompass others, it accelerates the beneficial momentum and activates blessings worldwide. In this way, you have the power to heal the earth and yourself in your actions and choices every day. So, you know, it's all about taking the action, and releasing the old. We are embracing the fact that we are in a new season, we are in the spring. Do that spring cleaning, let go of things, and take time to just reevaluate your life and say, okay, what is it that I've been holding on to? What beliefs are now ready to let go or open up to? Maybe not letting go of the beliefs, but opening up to a broader sense of that belief system, and making that focus of saying, yes, I'm going to make those changes in my life, whether it is doing some cleaning, whether it is your health. But taking these steps, you will create that momentum and get in the flow. And so that's what I have to say, Erica.
Will you do me a favor and put the first card up? And between the drill and that's the first card?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the first card.
Okay,
and then the second one was the wings of light.
So the thing about it, like just like this morning, and in between the hammering, y'all, please forgive, but the thing was, I had built up like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna create this, and I had put so much on myself, and then I couldn't do it in enough time because it was like other things I needed to do, and I was like, and then I was like, is it really that big a deal if I don't do XYZ? Is it really? And I'm telling you, my chest, my body will tighten up. Like, you'll notice this when you put a clock on yourself to do some things and it's not working the way you want, that sometimes that is happening for a reason, and you have to turn on the alarm and be like, oh, I'm actually going against the flow. This might not be working. And I start to realize things like that happen, and when things don't work out like I want, and there's stop signs, it's because I'm being shown maybe an easier way, a better way, how to save money, not to do it. And so when we get that one thought in our mind, like, I'm gonna do this, and then it's like, I have to do this and I need to do this, and then you start feeling that pressure build up on your body. That's a sign your body is trying to tell you, stop, slow down. Maybe you don't need to do that. If roadblocks pop up and things just and I think sometimes we don't have that ability to think out of the situation and pivot and notice, like, this isn't working this way. You know how they say throwing good money after bad, or rolling, fighting an uphill battle, because we've normalized fighting uphill battles, knowing that you can already predict, like, that's not going to work, but we keep doing it, right? And we stay in relationships we don't want to for years at a time, or we allow people to step on our toes and abuse us time and time again, and we don't say, you know what, this isn't working for me. And going with the flow, that's would work for you, right? And when you don't see how it's working for you anymore, it's actually working against you. Now you can go fast. Now you can go fast because you're not going against the flow, and the pressure is not pushing against you, and you're not going through the uphill battle. But now you can actually go fast because you're moving with that flow again now. But it's like, why do I have to learn lessons with pain? And that was a thing that I've been working on for like 2 years is I don't have to learn lessons with pain. I can learn with grace and ease.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say
The,
about that.
the,
About to
the
start.
thing about pain is that we recognize the pain, right? With grace and ease, we don't take it as seriously. It's like you get hit on the head when it's painful, right? If somebody just gives you a bouquet of flowers, you can appreciate it, but you're not going to remember that bouquet of flowers as much as getting hit on the head. So that's why that happens. Unless we start to appreciate that bouquet of flowers more, right? That's how it is. And I think I just want to say one thing is, like, we're going through very challenging times right now, and it's easy to get pulled into the negative, to the feeling of why me. I'm feeling sorry for yourself, and being full of fear. But if we're here to we say we're light workers, we say we're star seeds. This is the time that we came here to be, and this is when we came to shine our light. You're not shining your light if you're feeling down or feeling depressed or judgmental. No, we have to really work at being the opposite, finding joy, finding happiness, being that positive light that walks into a room that, people say, oh, look at that person. They have that spunk in them that they're able to, like they're experiencing, we're all experiencing this shift right now. What makes them able to go in that flow, right? And by going into the flow, that means we have to surrender and release things that anchor us onto an old. They're anchoring us. Those old systems are anchoring us onto an old timeline. So if we want to make a shift, we've got to let go of those things. Oh, you're mute.
Like Jack said, it's easier to accept bad humans, but remember what the computers said. They said they rebuilt the construct and they made it all like paradise, but people rejected paradise and they were attracted to chaos. They built the matrix over and over three or four times, or how many times did he say? I don't remember. He said they kept rebuilding it and humans kept destroying it because they didn't like it easy. But we've taught each other, right? Like, no pain, no gain, right? Cut that shit. Leave that behind. I think it's like you should go through all the little idioms that have been said to you and like really start to pluck them out and reject them.
Yeah, I'll post on the site a nice little article about belief, what we believe and what we know, and just that sort of it's a really, I think I posted before, but I'll post it again, and it's just a nice little discussion. It's about a 5-minute discussion about that, because we have a tendency to live our life on belief systems that we don't even know whether they're true or not.
Go against the grain, swim against the tide, uphill battle.
Yeah.
This is just something I can think of off the top of my head. Like, you got to work on it.
Yeah. And it's not that we don't have to work on it. And maybe we do have to go against the grain. Maybe we do have to go against the current, because that current sometimes is belief systems that are leading us into
right.
So we have to decide on it for ourselves. Like, what is it that, do I want to follow what everybody else has? And do I want to be part of that whole set of judgments? Because, I mean, gosh, we sure knew what it was like to be the receiving end of judgments a couple of years ago, and even more so now. Just because we decided to live our life differently and not listen to the scenario, well, we made ourselves targets for those things.
Yeah. Yep.
We
So
didn't make ourselves
speaking,
targets. We were.
I think it's hard. It's hard for people to think I can speak something into being when it's like I gotta work for it.
Yeah.
Or especially one of the biggest things is you're taught that you're born a sinner and that you're worthless. Like this has been drilled in by churches and things like that. Not that I'm saying that churches are 100% bad or anything like that, but there's these belief systems that are taught. You know, you teach children fear so that they become obedient. You teach people that they're going to burn in hell because you need them to be a part of your system. You teach them that they're worthless and that they need outside validation because you need them to participate in the system. So now it's time, let's overthrow those beliefs that are holding us back and making us feel small and making us feel that we don't deserve the love of the creator, because that is abundant, overflowing, free. You don't have to earn it, and it's your birthright. So let's spread that message and take it back.
Yeah.
So we'll end here.
Yeah. Just do it with grace, because we all have that ability to have grace within us, and
so
let go with the flow.
When is your site going to be done, Terri?
I'm not sure. I have to speak with my site provider.
Your advisor, your
my
site
advisor, yes.
Your admin. Okay.
Yes.
Well, pretty soon it'll be thecosmicmama.com, and it'll be we'll do a launch party next week, and we will talk to you soon. We're going into the Telegram chat and see you next week, unless we see you in this chat. Oh, actually, we're gonna see everybody tonight at 7.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We're
talking. Yes, we have that lovely lady.
Is it
going to talk to us about leaving religion?
Leaving the Mormon religion. Wow, she is a super hot bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Nightingale. Yeah. So that's tonight at 7. That's going to be amazing, and she is really amazing. She has a new book coming out and everything. But we'll see you in the future.
Yeah,
which is now.
It's Tuesday, so you're with Erica and Terri today.
Terri Tuesday.